Well, hey there. It's Cher from Mindful Entrepreneur on day 6 of your Confident and Bold challenge. If you have been keeping up to date, awesome, good for you. You then just went through 3 mornings of running your magic ritual, intentionally powering up your day by setting it in motion in the morning. If you have some catch up to do, don't worry. This will be available for at least 2 weeks after the end of the challenge tomorrow. So if you need some help, if something's been getting in your way, I did throw a couple of extra videos in the lives in the Facebook group over the weekend so that you could go to other levels there, understanding some things that can get in the way of motivation and where motivation comes from. Because if you are confident and bold, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are focused and motivated, right? There's so many pieces to this journey to your vision success. And I really want to help you make it from here to there. And I'll give you everything I can to make this challenge so significantly true for you so that you prove to yourself that this really is who you are. You are confident and bold. And that's a fun segue into what we're going to talk about today, which is who are you? Now, many of my clients have told me, I'm just not good at fill in the blank. I'm just not the kind of person who's comfortable doing, or it's just the way I am. Have you ever caught yourself doing that? Giving yourself an excuse, an out, so that you don't have to feel the discomfort. And that's very black and white thinking, right? If I do that, I'll feel uncomfortable. If I don't do it, I'll be fine. There are hundreds of other choices. Often, if you haven't finished the sentence, if I do that, and then finish the sentence with, in that way, it will be uncomfortable. What is a way to do it that is comfortable? If I do that with this attitude, it will be uncomfortable. What would be a better attitude with which to do it, right? If you do the chicken dance while having the attitude of, I need to look like a polished professional, it's just not going to go together, is it? You need to match the state to the behavior. And that's a lot of the work that we've been doing so far in this challenge. So we are on day 6 of 7. You had a couple of days on the weekend there to just go experience yourself as confident and bold, energizing your day with your strengths, and hopefully taking a few notes on that to see how's it going. I would love, love, love your feedback, whether you post a comment here or whether you email me or text me or reach out on LinkedIn or message me, right? We're so easy to get a hold of each other these days. Now, today we are going into a quantum level 1 of our quantum work, in which we step out of your life and look at it. It's something that we're not taught how to do, and I swear this should be taught in grade 3 health. So many people are just swept away by life, taking it as it comes, getting proud of how adaptable they are, how they can survive things, and feeling like they have no choice. You know what? Adaptability is a great skill, but it really gets in the way of effecting change, doesn't it? You need to be able to adapt to reality, but you also need to know how to reprogram reality. And as an entrepreneur, you've actually dedicated your life to not just being adaptable, to being able to step out of the world, out of the marketplace and say, you know what? Here's something that would make it better. Here's an innovation that would make coaching, consulting, photography, eyeglasses, chiropractic, naturopathy, would make things better. You are an innovator of reality already. And it's something to nurture in your business, because where the value isn't in your ability to carry it out. It's in your creativity to create it in the first place. Let's take that skill and transplant it, cross-pollinate it into your identity. Nurturing a growth mindset in your identity. Now, we all have a growth mindset in some aspects of our lives, like I know I can learn how to cook different things. but I may not really believe that I can become a great snowboarder. I don't have a growth mindset around snowboarding. Around your identity, you may find similar challenges. If you've ever taken personality tests in order to figure out who the heck you are and finally felt, yes, I get me, I want you to know that you only get the results of your identity in that context at this moment in time. It is a snapshot in a video, in a movie that spans your lifetime and beyond, depending on what you believe. Your personality is completely plastic. It's not meant to be a static entity. It's not meant to be a constrainment, a box to put yourself in to explain away why we do things. And in fact, part of personality is, are you introverted or extroverted? That will change over time. Are you an away from or a toward person? Are you someone that is looking for external validation or internal validation? I love that one because as a child, you're looking for external validation, right? That's how you're programmed. It's how you learn. As you mature, your goal is to really be mostly internal validation. How I know I have value, it just comes from inside. I just know. I know what I'm doing is good or bad based on my internal thoughts. And I'm not a narcissist, so I have an external check. Now, if you were raised by a narcissist or even just somebody who performed that way because they were so stressed, you may have challenges on making that switch. You may feel helpless about some things that you do not need to feel helpless about. Identity is one of them. Your value is another. And those are tied very closely together. Your personality is the result of the identity that you believe that you have at this time. And it is all meant to be dynamic. And that's pretty exciting. If you have the tools to work with it, so much the better. And of course, you do have the tools. You're here. And we're going to talk about that today. So let's dive into a little bit of how that happens. And I'm going to pull up some notes here so that I don't go too off track and I keep this to a level of conciseness for you. You know that if we get chatting, I'm just all about your transformation and I just want to hold myself back a little bit here. So your non-negotiable magic ritual already is playing around with who you think you are, even if you're the kind of person who, right? I'm not the kind of person to do a morning ritual. Well, now you are just by doing it. How we behave changes who we are. How we use our mind changes our brain. How we behave changes our identity. So you might have looked at that and said, how can I add some more of that? Maybe add some more rituals to your day. Maybe a notification at 10:30 in the morning that reminds you to do something that powers you up. Something at lunch, something at 3 p.m. Maybe at the end of the workday, not the end of the day, although that's a great one too. End of day is a powerful time to take back control of. End of your workday, what about a ritual where you are capturing the things that you achieved and planning your top 3 priorities for tomorrow? Huge work around there. Now you're the kind of person who's very organized, the kind of person who is proactive. When we take those I'm the kind of person who and say them out loud, speak them into reality, our words create that new reality, and you start communicating that, it becomes real. So we're adding this exponential layer to your intentional, confident, and bold transformation, and it's called higher order change. I've mentioned this already before. And today, we want to shake you out of that, it's just the way I am mindset of these certain things that have been getting in your way. We all do it. We've all been there, where it just seems daunting and we're not sure how to tackle it, so we give up. When we bring in the here's how to tackle it, you don't need to give up anymore. So remember that above your beliefs is your identity. And I'm going to just pull this up again. Let me grab that and add it to the stream. So at our base level, our environment is shaping us all the time. Above that, we have control of our environment in some sense, right? How we interpret it, where we choose to live, how we choose to live. Above that, our behavior is a next level up of power. We can control our behavior even more flexibly in the moment than we can control our environment, right? Our competence, this is our skills and our talents that we can deliberately nurture, and our strengths that we can deliberately build. Above that is our values. Now, you'll notice when you did your strengths work, some of those strengths that you identified and resonated with you that weren't your powerful strengths, your strongest strengths, are probably showing up in your values side of things, because values and character strengths tend to have a similar nomenclature to them, but they're kind of like a Venn diagram, that you've got these values and these strengths, and some of them overlap. And you can work on strengthening how you live your values as well. Even easier and more powerful change happens at this identity level up top here. Let me just make sure that I've got that. When we work at the identity level, everything below it ripples and changes. And so this is where we're going to work today. I'm going to take you through today's worksheet. You should have it in your inbox 1 minute ago now, so that we work with these intentionally, knowing that they are all changeable. The exercise today is going to be tying all of this again to your vision. You may notice that as you release some limiting beliefs, your vision gets bigger. That's fantastic. I have a great tool where we can 10x your vision and just test it. It's a fun way to see if it really vibrates at the soul level. In the meantime, just do what is true today. In order to create my vision of this success, maybe your 3-year vision, I love to work with 3 years. That sets your GPS with the goals of identify 2 or 3 goals that lead toward your vision this year or this quarter. I commit to honoring the deepest truth of who I really am by discovering that, and this is about being intentionally recovering and uncovering and evolving your identity. I'm the kind of person who uses my strength to be or do this thing so that I can create this result. And we're going to make a list of 6 of these today. You can have a longer list. This can be your identity, your becoming manifesto. Today's homework is 6 of these, and we want them to lead and be framed in the container of your vision. As you work with your identity within there, you'll see that keeping it tied to your core strengths keeps it tied to your whole identity, not just your business identity. To power that up further, for each commitment, develop one small thing, one minimum viable action that proves to you that you are that kind of person. Not proves to the world, not succeeds in creating it, not leads to a result, other than it proves to you that's the kind of person I am. And it's a powerful place to be. So I'm going to give you some examples of this, because this is some interesting work. This is a little bit different than what you may be used to working on. So let me just pull up some examples that I'm not going to share with you. I'm just going to read to you. So here are some simple examples. I am the kind of person who uses my enthusiasm, right, there's a strength, to invest in my physical strengths so that I can create all the energy I need for this epic adventure that I'm on. I'm the kind of person who just takes care of my body, right? I honor my physical strength. How do I word that? With a strength on one side, a being or doing in the middle, and then on the end, the benefit that gives me, creating all the energy I need. Now, here's where you have to get playful. You have to step out of, how will I know that's true? I will work out 1 hour a day, 6 days a week. I will do HIIT intervals. I'll do Pilates. I'll do this. No, that is not how we prove to ourselves our identity. Bring it smaller. And it's not, I'll do that today. We're going to do this every day on a regular basis, creating a pattern of proof that you are this person. And so as a minimum viable action that proves it, I get on the treadmill every day. Now, here's something. I didn't say I get on the treadmill every day for an hour. You get on that treadmill, you hop off again. That is the minimum viable action. You get on, you get off. Every single day. Day after day after day after day after day. You don't try to make yourself turn on the treadmill. You don't try to make yourself do even walking. You get on, you get off. You get on, you get off. Tiny, minimum viable action. What will happen is eventually, as your reticular activating system, as your cortex, as your entire being says, I'm the kind of person who really respects my body and I get on the treadmill every day, you will allow yourself to turn it on. You'll allow yourself to go for a little jog. You'll allow that to grow into a bigger habit. Makes sense? Because that's just the kind of person you are. Another example. I'm the kind of person who uses my commitment to intentionally bring in what will support me and release that which no longer serves me. So here I'm installing growth mindset. Here I'm installing openness so that I can have the benefit of being flexible and open to new opportunities. Huge, great identity shift. Very important for entrepreneurs, especially if you have been trapped in toxic independence before. And entrepreneurs, we get that way. We get that idea, I have to do it myself. So allowing in that which will support you so that you're open to opportunities is a bliss-generating zone for your business. Minimum viable action. I inhale, bringing in the air to support me, exhaling that which no longer serves me. Now, I'm not just going to do that once a day, but I'm going to do it with the intention and the mindset and the identity of bringing in that which supports me and letting out that which no longer serves me at least once a day. You may find that you'll use that when you're stuck, when you're frustrated, when you're anxious as well, because none of those things are serving you. One breath in, bringing in that which supports you. One breath out, releasing all those emotions that are not doing you any good so that you can give yourself space to go into problem-solving mode. Great thing. Another minimum viable action that you might suggest for this one, drink a glass of water. That's bringing in that which will support you. If while you urinate, you're consciously releasing that which no longer serves you, awesome. And maybe bringing in a little humor there. Another example, I'm the kind of person who uses my integrity to ensure that people are making the right choice for them when they decide to invest in my services, so that I approach sales calls from a place of generosity and allow people to buy. A minimum viable action, ask past customers, why'd you buy? Ask a future customer or a prospect, why would you buy? One of the things I do in my conversations, my sales conversations, is I ask people to prove to me that they need this. They need to convince me they have a problem first. What's fun as a hypnotist, that one step alone can remove the problem instantly, which is why I do my free coaching session for potential clients, because realistically, if we can make you magnificent in 45 minutes or less, why the heck not? I think my record was 12 minutes where somebody got on the call thinking there was something wrong. And I said, I'm the kind of person who uses my integrity to ensure people are making the right choice. So convince me you have a problem. And how's that a problem? And how is that a problem? And it turns out there wasn't a problem. It was just the habituated belief that there was a problem. Now, here's some bonus work that you can do. As you work through this, mentally rehearse doing your minimum viable action. Activate your strength into it, add emotion, maybe some play and some humor and some fun to that rehearsal so that your brain remembers you doing it even before you start. Think about where else that shows up. What kind of person works in the office that you work in? I'm the kind of person who is organized. Okay, how do your files look? Play around with all the different ways that you can use some strengths to become the identity of the person that you are becoming to create the success that you are building right now? How about boundaries? Do you work 24/7? And there's two ways to look at that. Do you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Or do you work 24 hours in 7 days? That's kind of fun. Let's play with that. When does your workday start? When does it end? Do you have buffer time? Do you build in boredom breaks and actually schedule them into your day? Do you build in time, that buffer time before a meeting so that you can feel totally organized? This identity work allows you to do the things that make your life more fabulous, that help you feel on top of things easily and effortlessly. So go grab that homework. This is exciting work. This is really choosing who you're becoming. And you've heard so many times that in order to create the success that you haven't yet reached, you have to become the person who can do it. This tiny little task is how you start becoming that person, how you start choosing to be the person that has the ability to create that success. You cannot get to where you're going with the belief system and with the skills that got you here. You're constantly growing. I'm so excited to be a part of this with you. And tomorrow we do a hypnotic experience of leveling it up even further. I love tomorrow's exercise. It is one of those instantly transformative things as well that reaches that next massive level of paradigm shift and reinforces what we have and magnifies it. I will see you tomorrow. Post anything in the Facebook that you can share about how this impacted you. Who are you? What kind of person are you? All of these wonderful positive statements. I'd love to hear your favorite. So share that with me when you get this exercise done. And I'll see you tomorrow at 11:30 on this live stream from the Facebook group or from YouTube. It should be showing up on both of those places. And you can catch it in the replay. Let me know if